My name is DDK and I'm the General Manager for 100 Thieves Valorant, and I'm super excited to talk about the new 100 Thieves Valorant roster here today.
And I'm Sean Garris. I'm the head coach. I'll be the guy with the players day in, day out. And yeah, these are some really special dudes.
Philosophically speaking, we had a lot to think about when we were trying to rebuild this roster. And we have a vision for the team. And I think there's three major things that for me were super important. I think Sean shares this as well. Firstly, the hunger. You want hungry players, and we wanted to make sure that every single player on the team had that kind of glint in their eye, that they were eyeing up that trophy, and that they are willing to kind of essentially do anything to achieve it. We also were looking at making sure that the team made sense from a roles point of view. Role overlap is something that absolutely murders so many teams and creates a lot of issues. So we wanted to make sure that the team was starting off from structurally a sound position. We wanted to make it so that every player was put in a position to succeed and play to their best ability, and that if we had to make changes, it would be way less destabilizing for the team because the team has been built with that kind of structure in mind. And then lastly, culture. Culture is a hugely important factor as well, making sure that all the players can kind of come together in terms of the vision, and that they're all amenable to that vision, and that they're all coachable in that sense.
What we're trying to achieve here is having 5 players that truly enjoy playing with each other on a high level every single day, day in, day out, even outside of practice, right? So coming into this team, we knew we wanted Asuna in the flex role. That's what he wanted. And personally, we think he can be one of the best flex players in the world. Then Bang came to us and he said, I want to be a controller. And this is something that he's been really good at in the past on Astra. He's played a little bit of Omen, a little bit of Brim, but we can help him develop as a player. His communication is unmatched when it comes to his age. I've never seen anything like it.
Then we're thinking, okay, we've got these 3 other open slots. The in-game leader one is hard to fill.
Very difficult.
And then you've got the core kind of duelist player as well as the kind of Sova flex player as well. And I think the Sova flex player was like the easiest one.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah, we had a couple calls, and I mean, one of them just blew us out of the water, right? We looked at all the tape, and Derrek from Rise he is such a special person, right? He puts in the work. He's mega positive. He's the most positive person I've ever talked to. This guy is in early, out late, and he's the veteran voice on this team outside of the in-game leader. And that was super important. He slot in so well into the lineup. We ultimately had so many good options, surprisingly, given where we are in VCT. And that's when we landed on our next player, Stellar, in the in-game leader role. And Stellar was so impressive in the calls to me because he had this sense of confidence and kind of authoritative communication, right? That you need in a leader. You need someone that's confident in their thoughts, as well as, making sure that they're gonna keep the team in check, not allow things to get out of control with all these young players. And I think he nails that. It was a very easy decision for us.
He is gonna be really good at playing the chess game against other in-game leaders. And then that leaves the final position, which is the duelist role.
Yes.
We ended up deciding to pick up Will. He's got a lot of potential, I think, to actually advance his ceiling pretty massively on this team, because I don't think, like with the Stellar situation, that he's necessarily had the support and he's had a system to kind of buy into that I think would allow him to really show his abilities off to the best of his ability.
I mean, his communication is next level. He's always willing to do criticism. He's always willing to talk things through, and he's willing to fall on the sword for the team. He just is willing to do whatever it takes for the team. All this kid wants to do is win, and his mentality is phenomenal. I love Will as a player, and that rounds out the roster. And I truly think we ended up with 5 players that create a special environment.
So the Ethan situation was really challenging because we desperately wanted to find a way to make it work so that we could keep Ethan on the roster.
This is so painful, right? Because we tried everything to make this work, and I think we both believe Ethan is a star player in our region, but it really does clash with what we're trying to build.
In terms of Ethan's status, of course, this means that he is not on the starting 5. And at the moment, his future is sort of to be determined. And there's a possibility that he's able to explore other options. When we know more on his situation, we will make sure to update. The team is truly starting from scratch. We're only starting with 2 of the original players, a new in-game leader. So the map pool doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one
and
to
people kind of
to fix.
switching agents. You know, there's a lot. We're starting from scratch here, and it's going to be a process. Teams are going to play us, and unlike other teams in our region, there's not going to be a weak spot on this map. And I feel like once we all hit our stride and everyone's comfortable in their roles, there's going to be no stopping this team. Like everyone is working to their utmost potential right now to make sure this team is prepared for VCT.
This team has a lot of potential for constant growth. So if we're doing our jobs, every single bad result is really going to just be an opportunity for us to get the result that we're all looking for, which is to win the biggest championships possible.
There's no big egos that break communication or make players feel shut down. You know, we're always going to stay ahead of that, and that's what we look to achieve here in this coming year.
I think we're super excited about the future of this roster. Again, thank you all so much for the support for Sean and myself and Mike as we build out the roster. And now we have the roster, and we're super excited to see what they can do. We are blown away by what we've seen in practice. The potential of this team is definitely super impressive. And I'm looking forward personally to all of the challenges that we'll get to overcome together to grow the team. I know that we're going to have a lot of success with this team. I don't know all of the answers, but what I do know is that the process that we have right now is working, and it is something that everyone's super bought into, and I couldn't ask for any more, and I think it's the same for Sean.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Nailed it.
I'm really sorry for walking in while you guys.
You're good, dude. You're good, man.
What's up, boys?
What's good, bro? Of course.
How you
Feeling
Good,
hell,
good.
good, hell good.
This is sorry to interrupt. This is 100 Thieves production. Look at this. We got 4 cameras. We got all different types of. This background looks great too.